Have you ever met someone who thinks a small title gives them infinite power? You know, the kind of person who starts as a volunteer president of the HOA and ends up acting like the mayor of the world? Well, this story is about one of them. A man who ruled a quiet neighborhood like his own private kingdom, until one homeowner quietly decided to bring everything crashing down peacefully. I moved into Maple Creek Estates 2 summers ago. Beautiful lawns, quiet streets, smiling neighbors. The kind of place where everyone waves at each other and kids ride bikes till sunset. At least that's what I thought, until I met Mr. Gerald Parker, the HOA president. He wasn't elected. He'd been serving since the neighborhood was built, and according to him, everything needed his approval. A new mailbox? Submit a request. Planting roses? Wait for next month's board meeting. And heaven forbid you painted your fence a shade darker. You'd get a letter by morning. At first, I thought he was just doing his job. But then, the letters started piling up. One neighbor got fined for having too many garden gnomes. Another was forced to cut down a 15-year-old tree because it blocked the view of the street sign. Every week, Gerald drove around in his golf cart, clipboard in hand, inspecting homes like a general reviewing troops. He even stopped by my driveway once to remind me that my garbage cans were an inch too far from the curb. The man was obsessed, and rumor had it he used HOA funds to improve his own property. New landscaping, repainting, even a private security system for the community. Nobody dared question him, because anyone who did suddenly found themselves fined for something absurd. That's when I realized this wasn't just strict management. It was control.
Then came the letter that changed everything. It was a $750 fine, unauthorized garden lights. The lights? They were solar, soft, and installed before I even moved in. I tried to appeal. Gerald refused to meet me. I emailed the HOA board, no response. That's when my neighbor, Mrs. Alvarez, quietly knocked on my door. She handed me a thick folder and whispered,
"You're not the only one. Keep this safe."
Inside were copies of financial reports, handwritten notes, and board meeting summaries. And one thing was clear. The HOA account was bleeding money. Thousands spent on maintenance projects that didn't exist. Invoices signed only by one person, Gerald. That night, I sat at my kitchen table staring at those papers, and for the first time, I didn't feel angry. I felt calm, because I knew exactly what I had to do.
Instead of confronting him, I started collecting evidence, quietly. Every receipt, every rule violation, every fake signature. Over 3 months, I built a file so detailed it could have been a detective's case. Then I filed a formal complaint to the county's Community Association Oversight Office with all the documents attached. And while that process took time, I also did something else. I started talking to my neighbors, calmly, respectfully. No gossip, no drama, just facts. I showed them the numbers, the fake expenses, the personal purchases, and one by one, the fear turned into unity. By the time the next HOA election came around, something magical happened. For the first time in a decade, someone else ran for president. Election day was like a movie scene. Gerald stood in front of the crowd, smiling like always, confident that nobody would dare challenge him. Then Mrs. Alvarez stepped up with a box full of copies, evidence for every homeowner. You could feel the silence turn into whispers, then murmurs, then outrage. He tried to deny it, but the county officials were already there. Turns out, my report had triggered an official audit. By sunset, Gerald wasn't president anymore. He was under investigation for embezzlement and misuse of community funds. The man who once fined people for gnomes now faced fines of his own, real ones. A few months later, Maple Creek Estates finally felt peaceful again. No more surprise letters, no more power trips, just neighbors planting flowers, chatting in driveways, living normally again. And that's when I realized something simple. Sometimes the calmest voice can bring down the loudest tyrant. You don't need to shout, threaten, or fight. You just need the truth and patience. So next time someone in power tries to act like they own you, remember this story. Because control built on fear never lasts, but truth always finds its way home.